ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि श्रुतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ऋतं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च तपश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च दमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च शमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्नयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्निहोत्रं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अतिथयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च मानुषं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजा च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजनश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजातिश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यमिति सत्यवचाराधीतरः तप इति तपो नित्यपौरुषेष्टिः स्वाध्याय प्रवचने एवेति नाको मौद्गल्यः तद्धि तपस्तद्धितपः। सर्वैः एतैः कर्मभिः युक्तस्य अपि स्वाध्याय प्रवचने यत्नतः अनुष्ठेये इति एवं अर्थम सर्वेण सह स्वाध्याय प्रवचन ग्रहणम। We have to lead our life. Whatever is to be done as a part of our life, that has to be done. There is no compromise in this. And this is also not an excuse that because we are busy in our life, we have no time for study of scriptures and we have no time for our spiritual sadhana. So these two things are to be properly balanced. Whatever duties are assigned to us in a particular period of time in our life, that must be done perfectly, but that should not become as an excuse. And therefore I cannot do my japa, therefore I cannot study scriptures. No. This is one extreme. The other extreme is that we get involved in spirituality beyond requirement and thereafter our homes are on fire. So what is required is that our life at home must be a balanced, beautiful combination of understanding and sacrifice. And for developing this understanding and sacrifice, sacrifice of what? Not comforts, sacrifice of one's own individuality, sacrifice of one's own whims and fancy, sacrifice of one's own prestige issue. When this is done, then alone we are spiritually growing. Or else, after coming in contact with the great masters, attending many Gita Jnana Yajnas, till the last moment there is misunderstanding, anger, frustration in the family. The two people are pulling together. Only thing, when they got married, by mistake, a drop of Fevicol happened to come together. And because of that, now they cannot go ahead. And that Fevicol is the children. So, they are staying together only for pulling the children in opposite direction. This is not spiritual life. If we are spiritually growing, the house temperature decides. What is the temperature of the house? When we go in the house, do we require to switch on the oven for boiling the potatoes, or you enter the house and you can peel off yourself? In that case, we are not leading spiritual life. The peace at home cannot be compromised at any cost. And therefore, what is required is सर्वैहि एतैहि कर्मभिः युक्तस्य अपि स्वाध्याय प्रवचने यत्नतः अनुष्ठेये इति एवं अर्थम सर्वेण सह स्वाध्याय प्रवचन ग्रहणम. Now, after having told this, then 2-3 great acharyas were quoted. According to them, one says that satyamiti anushteyam. The satya should be practiced in life. So, rati tarasya gotro rati tara acharya manyate. The second acharya says, tapo eva kartavyam. He, paurushishtihi. So, he says, tapasya should be the foundation of spiritual life. The third one says that स्वाध्याय प्रवचने एव अनुष्ठेये इति नाको नामतः मुद्गलस्य अपत्यम मौद्गल्यम आचार्यो मन्यते. The third one says that the Swadhyaya and Pravachan, study of the scriptures and discussing, talking about that alone should be practiced. Up to here we have come yesterday. Then tadhi tapas tadhi tapaha means what? He means yasmat Swadhyaya Pravachane eva tapaha. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is that the highest tapasya is the study of the scriptures and practicing what we have studied or understood in life. I told you once, there is a friend of mine, very elderly man, very nice, from decent breeding, cultured person. He used to come for the classes. This is from Delhi. He used to come for the classes and never bring anything with him, no book, no nothing, and sit in very single pointedness. He could not sit properly with the asana, so he used to pull himself, hold like this and sit. And one day he asked me, he said, Swamiji, you never asked me what I have understood. I said, when I have not understood, what can I ask you? He said, no, you must ask me. I said, all right, tell. What you understood? He said, every day I catch one thought. See, how we can practice spirituality. He said, every day from your whole talk, I attentively listen, and one particular thought that day goes and hits me. Then that thought I go on ruminating and think from all the possible angles. Why has Swamiji said like this? What are the possible implications of this thought if it is practiced or if it is not practiced? He said, this is what I do for the whole day. And thereafter I accept or reject the thought. And in this manner, every day, one thought is enough for me to carry on for the day. See how simple and effective is the sadhana if we really mean it. So, yasmat swadhyaya pravachane eva tapaha tasmat te eva anushtheye iti. So, highest tapasya is regularity in study of the scriptures. That is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya again and again tells us, that Bhagavad Gita kinchita dhita Ganga jalalava kanika pita. It is most essential. And this message I told you also on our Panchadashi, you have seen, when Swamiji gave me one book, very clearly he mentioned in that, no day passes you are reading 5 pages per day. Now the message the teacher has given, but whether we accept that message as a message or massage it and forget about it, that freedom is also given to us. And if we follow that one message given by the teacher sincerely, and that message is also according to the scriptural authority. Therefore, yasmat swadhyaya pravachane eva tapaha, because swadhyaya and pravachana, this is the highest tapasya. And see, another important point. When you go in the field, after going in the field, we will get involved into many activities. Now that time, what is required is, are we keeping ourselves in touch with the study of the scriptures or not? If you do not do it for one day, suppose today you get Diksha and tomorrow you are posted. You go to Jumritalaya and start the mission. And you go there, and after you go to Jumritalaya, then you go to the pan shop. वो यहाँ के वो मिश्रा जी कहाँ है जिनका नाम हमेशा आता है? Inquiry begins. Instead of inquiring about the reality. So, from that day onward, one day gap is enough to destroy all what we have done earlier. Therefore, if you remember in our camp, I did not allow you the last day even once. You may be keeping awake up to 12 o'clock. That cannot justify that your next day should have the shadow of yesterday's hangover. Whether the hangover is that of the drinks or the hangover is that of the exhaustion, it will hang you over once for all. That is why Swadhyaya Pravachane, these two things should never be compromised in life. Not a single day should go without our not reading, but studying. And when you thus go on studying various things again and again, a time comes when by reading itself you get the messages from within. But this happens when you have done it for a period of few years, regularly, sincerely. Otherwise, the same thing, like in our mission particularly, all are professional listeners. They have listened to many Mahatmas and kept aside. Right from Swamiji's time. And any time, anywhere you talk to them, do you know, I know Swamiji for last 100 years. In that enthusiasm they forget that they are younger than 100 years. Maybe they are talking about Purva Janma association, who knows. And then when they come to listen to us, they will be not listening. देखते कितने पानी में है. And in this manner it becomes only no swadhyaya, no pravachana. That is why when we are taking to this path, this is what our Swamiji has given all of us. And if we don't accept, take it, who can help us? He has provided us with the platform to do pravachan. He has provided us with the knowledge through Sandipani. He has provided us with the freedom to conduct lectures and yajnas. You go in any other organization. Suppose you go, I won't name, if you go to some of the organizations, unless you have got a written permission from the headquarters, you cannot go and address a gathering of 10 people. It is objectionable. You can go and sleep. It's okay. But if you talk about satsang, about something, without the permission from the headquarters, then it is a breach of discipline. You now see the freedom that is given to us. All our brahmacharis, swamis are totally free to fix their programs and conduct Swamiji's work. So Swadhyaya Pravachane, these two things, Anushteje iti, must be practiced. Uktanam api satya tapas swadhyaya pravachananam punaha grahanam adarartham. So again and again it is said only to indicate the importance and the tadhitapa, it is a repetition of the satya, swadhyaya, tapa, pravachana, etc. to indicate respect and reverence for that. In this manner, this Navam Anuvak gave us the importance of the balance in life. Our worldly life has to continue perfectly, but that should not become an excuse because of which I cannot study and do my sadhana on one side. On other side, I am doing my sadhana and therefore I am negligent about my wife, about my children, about my family, about the needs. That is also totally wrong. We have to have a perfect balance. Without this perfect balance, we cannot progress spiritually. Now, the Dasham Anuvak, Aham Vrukshasya Reriva iti Swadhyayartha Mantram Nayaha Swadhyayascha Vidya Utpattay Prakaranat Vidyartham hi idam prakaranam na cha anya artha avagamyate Swadhyayena cha Vishuddha Sattvasya Vidya Utpattihi avakalpyate. Aham Vrukshasya Reriva, these mantras, they are meant for doing jap. These mantras from Aham Vrukshasya Reriva up to Iti Trishankor Vedanu Vachanam. This one mantra is meant for contemplation or doing the japa. Why? Because when we do japa or the upasana, then alone we become extremely subtle and single pointed, where Vidya Utpattay, where only the knowledge dawns. Unless the mind is pure and single pointed, the meaning of the mantras will not be revealed. Please understand, the meaning of the mantras must be revealed in the form of aham. Whether we are talking of Om, whether we are talking of Namaha, whether we are talking Shivaya, whether we say Aham Vrukshasya Reriva, whether we say Kirtihi Prushtam Gireriva, when every word uttered by anybody is able to be deducted to mean Aham, our meaning or the Artha Grahana is wrong. This is what in Vishnu Sahasranam, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, if you read the commentary on every name is interpreted in such a manner that that particular name indicates the one single solitary truth, one without a second. So when so many thousands of names are indicating that one, it is called as upasana. And when this upasana is practiced atmatvena, then every word uttered by anybody, anywhere, when it will start meaning aham, then alone our artha jnanam is correct. So this is what is said here. Aham vrukshasya reriva iti swadhyayartha mantram nayaha, for doing this japa. And swadhyayascha vidya utpattaye. And by this Swadhyaya alone, the right meaning dawns, prakaranat, because this is the topic that is being taken in this particular Dasham Anuvak. Vidyartham hi idam prakaranam. This topic, this prakaranam, this chapter is meant for Vidya Utpattaye. That means after we have lived life according to what is given up to the 9th Anuvak, what will happen, it is given as the reference for us to know when a great saint called as Trishanku, when he lived life according to up to the 9th Anuvag, what was his experience? The same experience will be ours if we live our life according to the last 9 Anuvags. So, nacha anya arthatvam avagamyate, and there is no other meaning that can be derived from the following mantra. And therefore, swadhyaye cha vishuddha sattvasya vidya utpattihi avakalpate. So, the one who has done swadhyaya means swadhyaya pravachana, japa, etc. Vishuddha sattvasya. Sattva means antakaran. He who has purified his heart, for him alone vidya utpattihi avakalpate. He alone is fit for understanding correctly the meanings of every word. See what happens when we understand the meanings of the words on the strength of grammar, then shabdikaha shabda tatparaha. Then they are able to dissect etymologically every word and keep away from the meaning. And therefore the total knowledge becomes only objective erudition scholarship. It does not have anything to do with the recognition of our own essential nature. And therefore, swadhyayena cha, by this swadhyaya, pravachana, doing this japa of the following mantra, vishuddha sattvasya vidya utpattihi avakalpate, there is a possibility of this. Now read the mantra. Aham vrukshasya reriva kirti prushtam gireriva urdhva pavitro vajiniva swamrutamasmi dravinagam savarchasam sumedha amrutokshitaha iti trishankorvedanuvachanam. Again. Aham vrukshasya reriva kirti prushtam gireriva urdhva pavitro vajiniva swamrutamasmi dravinagam savarchasam sumedha amrutokshitaha iti trishankorvedanuvachanam. Aham vrukshasya reriva. Now Bhagavan Shankaracharya's commentary, most wonderful. It helps us in discovering the hidden truths behind the curtains of the words. Aham vrukshasya. What is the meaning of vruksha? Vrukshasya uchchedatmakasya samsara vrukshasya. Vruksha means vrishchanat vrukshaha. We have seen this definition where? In Kathopanishad. There urdhva mulo vakshakaha esho shvasta sanatanaha. There we have seen. So vruksha is vrishchanat vrukshaha. The one which can be cut is called as vruksha. Therefore aham vrukshasya reriva. So which vruksha? Not the ordinary tree around, but it is uchchedatmakasya samsara vrukshasya. Therefore, this samsara vruksha, we have seen how beautifully Bhagavan has given what are the leaves and the trunks and the various kinds of parts of this vruksha, and how different birds come and sit on that, and there is a lot of terrible sound going on. So, that samsara vrukshasya reriva. Reriva means what? Prerayita, antaryamyatmana. This word reriva comes from the atmanepadi bhuvadi gana. Bhuvadi gana is which gana? The first conjugation. So, the atmanepadi root from the first conjugation is reva. And reva revate, because it is atmanepadi. So, reva revate means to move, company. So, aham vrukshasya reriva. So, reriva therefore prerayita. I am the enlivener of this world of samsara, the tree of samsara. So, aham vrukshasya uchchedatmakasya samsara vrukshasya reriva prerayita. Now, how do I enliven this whole world, the tree of this world? Antaryamyatmana. By being the inner controller. Now see how beautifully the whole thing is now clear. The Lord is controlling this world by being inside the world, not outside the world. Just like the ocean controls the waves by being inside the waves, and yet he is not limited by the waves. Just like the gold controls every ornament by being inside the ornament, and yet it is neither created nor destroyed when the ornaments are created or destroyed. Extend further, the same Paramatma, recognized as Aham by this Trishanku Rishi, he is the controller of the gross body by maintaining the particular shape, and yet he is not conditioned by any shape. The same Paramatma is supporting Pranamaya Kosh by invoking the hunger and thirst, and yet he is not hungry or thirsty. The same Paramatma is controlling every emotional commotion in the Manomaya Kosh, and yet has never suffered any emotional bankruptcy. The same reality supporting from within the intellectual faculty, and yet he is not intelligent, thank God. And the same reality supporting the total unmanifest world, and yet he is not becoming unmanifest because it is supporting this unmanifest world. So in this manner, antaryamyatmana aham eva samsara vrukshasya reriva prerayita. Now this is the exclamation of this great saint. Aham vrukshasya reriva. Now second, kirtihi, khyatihi. Kirti means glory. Kirti means vibhuti. Now here is very, very important point. Please understand. Don't get lost only in the Vyatirek sadhana and imagine that we are studying Vedanta. I am not the body, I am not the intellect. That is wrong. Then, as much I is the reality, that much the whole world is my glory. This has to be very clearly understood. In the 10th chapter, this foundation is distinctly brought out by Bhagavan. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo vetti tattvataha. Both things we have to recognize. Ourselves being transcendental to the creation as well as immanent in and through the creation. Then alone the knowledge is complete. Otherwise it will be only one-sided knowledge. And therefore, this whole vruksha, samsara vruksha, is my glory. So I am the enlivener of this world, and this world is my glory. Now see how beautiful it is. And when we accept this world as one's own glory, our love for this world will be natural. And when we simply condemn that Jagat Mithya, you cannot love what is accepted as Mithya. And therefore here Upanishad very clearly declares, Kirti, Khyati. Khyati is glory. Glory is Vibhuti. That is why after having told in the 9th chapter, from the yoga standpoint, Maya tatavidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtinam masthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu astitaha najamasthani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram. Both. Yoga and Aishwarya. Bhuta bhrunna cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. This is, he declares in the 9th chapter. Then in the 10th chapter, he expands Aishwarya, what he committed in the 9th chapter. And there he gives his total vibhuti. And then he says, Hantate kadhaishyami. Alas, I could communicate to you my total glory. Meaning, it is impossible. Because yad vibhuti mat sattvam. Whatever glorious you see in this world, there I am. That doesn't mean in a non-glorious he is not. But we are not able to recognize the divine presence in average simplicity. And therefore, the Lord has to come in front of us with a special makeup. Etad vibhutimat sattvam. And this is what here it is said, Kirti khyati girehe prishtam iva uchrita mama. And this whole world is my glory, and it is so firm. Like what? Girehe prishtam iva. Like the top of a mountain, uchrita, highest. So my glory is unparalleled, because I am the substratum of this total world of names and forms. So, Prishtam iva uchrita mama kirti khyatihi. Then, Urdhva Pavitraha. Now, what is the meaning of Urdhva Pavitra? Urdhvam means Karanam. Pavitram means Pavanam, Jnana Prakashyam. Pavitram, Paramam, Brahma Yasya Sarvatmanaha Mama Saha Aham Urdhva Pavitraha. So, Urdhva means the cause, Pavitra means the most purifying. Pavitra, this word is derived as Pavehe Bhayat Api Trayate Iti Pavitra. That which can protect us even from the thunderbolt of Indra is called as Pavitra. And therefore, in the 9th chapter, in the 4th chapter, Bhagavan says, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. So, Urdhva Pavitra, that me who is the cause of this world, and not only the material cause, but also the efficient cause. Therefore, by these two words, Urdhva Pavitra, what is meant is that Abhinna Nimitta Upadan Karan Aham Asmi, that is the meaning. So, Pavanam, Jnana Prakasham, Pavitram Paramam, Brahma Yasya, Sarvatmanaha Mama. So, I, the one who is Sarvatma, who is the substratum of everything, and two ways. By being everything, the Sat, the material cause, and by being the controller of everything, then the Chit, the efficient cause. And thus, I am simultaneously the material and the efficient cause, and this is what I am, Urdhva Pavitraha. This is how I call myself as Urdhva Pavitraha. Vajini iva swamrutam asmi. Vajini iva, vajan, vajavat iva. Vajam annam. Tadvat iti, savitari ityarthaha. So, Vajini iva means, Vajam means annam. So, Vajeshravasah, we have seen where Vajeshravasah word? Kathopanishad. The first mantra, Ushan Havai, Vajeshravasah, Tasyaha, Nachiketa Nama Putrasa. Further, you know Swamiji, why ask? So, Vajam Annam, Tadvat, the one who is the wielder of Annam, and who is that wielder of Anna? Savitari. Savitari means Surya Bhagavan, Ityarthaha. So, Yatha Savitari, Amrutatvam, Amrutatva, Tattvam Vishuddham, Prasiddham Shruti Smriti, Shatebhyaha. Just like it is very much known in hundreds and thousands of scriptures, as well as the Shruti Smriti Grantha, that the sun is the abode of immortality, and Vishuddham Prasiddham Tattvam, the pure self expresses through the sun. In the same manner, Vishuddha Atma Tattvam Asmi Bhavami, the same reality I am. Again, connect it with our Ishavasya Upanishad. Asavaditya Soham Asmi. So that Purusha who is in the Aditya, the same Purusha I am. Therefore, this is one very important thought given here, that all our contemplation should become as distinctly clear as this world can exist only as long as the sun is. In the same manner, this samsara vriksha is possible only on the foundation of the Supreme Self, that I am, who is simultaneously the material and the efficient cause. So, Swamrutam Shobhanam Vishuddham Atma Tattvam Bhavami iti. So, thus, this most purified, most efficient, immortal, supreme self I am. Dravinagam Suvarchasam. Dravinam Dhanam. सुवर्चसम मीन्स दीप्तिमत, तद एव आत्म तत्वम अस्मि इति अनुवर्तते. सो द्रविणगम सुवर्चसम, I am that highest wealth. And what is the highest wealth? That because of which I am I. If a person has got lot of money and then suddenly other country attacks and devalues the total money, like it happened in Czechoslovakia. So they used to go with bag full of money, or even in Russia, and then they will get one loaf of bread. So that money is no money. So here the supreme wealth is Atma Tattvam, Aham Asmi iti Jnanam. That is our real wealth. All other wealth can be looted away. And this knowledge that we are the essentially Satchidananda Rupa, this knowledge is the real wealth. So iti anuvartate, this has to be associated with this thought. Aham Asmi is not there in the original mantra. Dravinagam Suvarchasam Diptimat Tad Eva Atma Tattvam Asmi iti anuvartate. Or Brahma Jnanam tu Atma Tattva Prakashakatvat Savarchasam. Another meaning. Or this Brahma Jnana alone leads us to discover our essential nature. And therefore, Brahma Jnana alone is the real wealth. All other wealth is meaningless. So, how the Brahma Jnana will come? When Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. When we sincerely study scriptures, practice them in life, and when the various kinds of external purifications are completed, when we are on the seat of meditation and contemplate on the Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upadesh, then we discover that this Sakshi Chaitanya, that I was doing Bhavana, Sakshi Bhava, that Bhava is dropped, and the Sakshi is discovered to be the substratum of everything. So that Brahma Jnanam Atma Prakasha, Atma Tattva Prakashakatvat Savarchasam, that being the cause of revealing the real self is called as Savarchasam, the supreme wealth. Dravinam iva Dravinam moksha sukha hetutvat. And why this Brahma Jnana is called as Dravinam? Because Dravinam iva, like the wealth. What happens by wealth? We get happiness, they say. So Dravinam iva Dravinam moksha sukha is the cause of the liberation. Hetu is the cause. So moksha sukha hetutvat Dravinam iva. Asmin pakshe praptam iti maya adhyahara kartavyaha. Here we should convert this sentence into a passive voice to understand the correct meaning. In the earlier one, asmi iti anuvartate. There it was active voice. Here we have to make it the passive voice, then the sentence becomes clear. And in this manner, this great Trishankar Rishi, he is now expressing his realization further. Shobhana Sumedha Shobhana Medha Sarvajna Lakshana Yasya Mama So Aham Sumedha. Sumedha Amrutokshitaha. Now what is the meaning of Sumedha? Sumedha means Shobhana. Shobhana means Sarvajna Lakshana. What is the glory and beauty of the understanding? Where there is no misunderstanding. That is the beauty. Otherwise, if we consider that I am very intelligent and therefore suffer intelligently every moment, so that is not the beauty of the intelligence. Like in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Bhagavan says that hey Arjun, Prajnavadamsha Bhashase. Arjun, you are talking like a wise man. Do you know who is a wise man? Gatasuna Gatasuscha Nanu Shochanti Pandita. A wise man never grieves, even if he is in Bombay. Because Bombay grieves, along with Crompton. These are the stories our children tell. So, Sumedha, Shobhana Medha, Sarvajna Lakshana Yasya Mama Saha Aham Sumedha. The beauty of the intellect is that we have right knowledge. And what is the right knowledge? In other words, it is called as the intuitive knowledge. That knowledge which is not conditioned by the limitations of Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas and Antakaran Chatushtaya. That knowledge is called as the Sumedha. So Sumedha, Samsara Sthiti Utpatti Samhara Kaushala Yogar Sumedhatstvam. Now, why Sumedha? Sarvajna Lakshana. Why Sarvajna Lakshana? Samsara Sthiti Utpatti Samhara Kaushala Yogar. Because of the dexterity, because of the expertise with respect to the creation, maintenance and the destruction of this tree of samsara. Now how this world is created, maintained and destroyed is known by me. Now tell me, when this is this Upanishadic mantra and this is the final authority, and if some Mahatma by his very sankalpa is able to change the life of others, it is not jadoo, it is not magic, it is not with a view to win over somebody a point, it is not. Those who have got this type of petty, weak thoughts, they have nothing in them. All the great masters, whatever they are living, whatever way they are living, they have chosen their life. We have no business. I'll tell you an example. How out of our over enthusiasm in spirituality, we derail and start disrespecting and commenting on those where we can't even stand near them. For example, in this Swami Narayan, they have got 5 rules, and the 5 rules are that they will not look at or talk to women, they will not put on stitch cloth, they will not touch money physically even once, money or any notes or any check etc. They will take food only in a particular type of thali, and then they will add little water into that and mix it and drink it, and then after taking diksha they will never go and meet their own relation, mother, father, brother etc. So this is the rules that they accepted on themselves. Now there are people who comment on this. Oh, these Swamis, they keep themselves away from the ladies. So who are we to tell them what they should do? Where we went last time, in that place, so there were some Swaminis and Brahmacharis also with us. So when we went to see Pramukh Swami, naturally according to the rule only we were allowed and ladies were not allowed. Immediately the revolt, equality, and then we don't hesitate to condemn them. But what business we have got, what kind of rules and regulations others should follow in their spiritual path, we have no business. Not understanding this, we don't hesitate to condemn Mahatmas and their way of living. This is unlike being saintly. Therefore, very careful in life. Nobody, when we have to discover that Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, except that Mahatma, how ridiculous it is. Therefore, nothing can justify when we condemn any Mahatma belonging to any path. It is not that only those who are following Shankar Vedanta, they alone I respect. No. Everybody, whatever path they are following, whatever religion they are following, whatever way they are doing, what is important is that they are on the path to reality. That is important. So what way they go, who are we to bother about somebody? And therefore here, the most important thing is Sumedha, Shobhana Medha, Sarvajna Lakshana, Samsara Sthiti, Utpatti, Samhara Kaushala, Yoga Sumedhatvam. So those who have come to this point, they have got this ability that they can create anything by their will. They can destroy anything by their will. They can maintain anything till they want. But when these things happen with reference to a particular Mahatma for whom we have got respect and love, we glorify that. And when the same thing is done by any other Mahatma for whom, unfortunately, because of our intellectual poverty, we don't understand, and then we condemn the same Mahatma, this is unlike being spiritual. Therefore, samsara sthiti utpatti samhara kaushala yogan sumedasvam. That is the real sumedhatva, wherein after having attained the sarvatmya bhava, everything is possible. Ataha eva, and therefore amritaha amarana dharmaha, akshitaha akshinaha avyayaha, and therefore I am immortal. And akshitaha avyayaha, akshinaha, I am the one who is not subjected to any loss. Vyaya means expenditure, and avyaya means lack of expenditure. So I am the one who cannot be subjected to any loss, and this is possible only with reference to the infinite. Only with reference to infinite, only infinite plus minus n is equal to infinite alone. And therefore, aham amarana dharmaha akshitaha akshinaha avyayaha akshito va. Another meaning of akshita is amrutena ukshitaha siktaha, or I am totally soaked in immortality. In this manner, amrutokshitaha aham ityadi brahmanam. There is another Shruti Vakya also where it is said, iti evam trishankoho rushehe brahmabhutasya brahmavidaha vedanu vachanam. So up to here, this is aham vrukshasya reriva kirtim keti prushtam gireriva urdhva pavitro vajiniva samrutam asmi dravinagam swavarchasam sumedha amrutokshitaha. Up to here, iti evam trishankoho rushehe. See all the 6 case. Trishankoho rushehe brahmabhutasya brahmavidaha. So Trishanko Rushi is in the 6th case, genitive case, therefore all the adjectives have come in the genitive case. So Trishankoho Rushehe Brahmabhutasya Brahmavidaha Vedanu Vachanam. So these are the words of exclamation by this great Rishi called as Trishanku. And who was this Trishanku Rishi? Brahmabhuta. He who was established in this Brahmajnana, and therefore Brahmavidaha, the knower of the truth. Now, Vedanu Vachanam, this interpretation given by Bhagavan Shankara is supremely wonderful. Vedanu Vachanam. Veda, Vedanam. Atmaikatva Vijnanam. So, Veda means recognition of Brahmatmaikya Bodha is called as Vedanam. And Tasya Praptim Anu Vachanam Vedanu Vachanam. After having realized the truth, after having got established in this Brahmatmaikya Bodha, Anupaschat, thereafter this great Rishi exclaimed, as we will see in the same Upanishad, when the student, after having completed his contemplation exercise as given by the father teacher, then ha vu ha, that ha vu ha is mentioned here as Vedanu Vachanam. So after having recognized the Brahmatmaikya Bodha, thereafter this Trishanku Brahmabhutasya Brahmavidaha Vedanu Vachanam. These are his words of experience. Atmanaha Krutakrutyata Kyapanartham Vamadeva Vat Trishankuna Arshena Darshanena Drishtaha. Just like we have seen in Aitya Upanishad, Vamadeva Rishi, when he was in the Garbha, there only he discovered the reality. In the same manner here, this Trishanku Rishi, Arshena Darshanena, he also has discovered this reality. Drashto Mantramnaya Atma Vidya Prakashakaha Ityartha. So after having discovered the reality, this Vamadeva Rishi exclaimed these words of his experience. And therefore, when we chant these words of experience by this great Trishanku Rishi, we will be also led to the same reality. And therefore, these are the words, mantra for doing japa. aham vrukshasya reriva kirti prushtam gireriva. And in this manner, the more we go on contemplating, doing this japa, we also Atma Vidya Prakashakaha, we also will be revealed this Atma Vidya. Asya cha japaha vidya utpatyarthaha avagamyate. So when we do this japa, the vidya, the knowledge will take place. It is something like this. When we do japa of any mantra, what happens? That our mind, which is carrying the load of thoughts, is now carrying only one kind of thought, not many kinds. The manyness in the thought is on account of two things. One, the qualitative difference, and second, the frequency differences. So by japa sadhana, what is done? That the differences on account of the objects is reduced to zero. So when we are doing japa Hari Om, so the content of this particular vritti is Hari Om. Then we stop. Then second, Hari Om. Again, the second thought also had the same content. And in this manner, when we are able to chant the same mantra for a long period of time, we have achieved one thing. What is that? Differences on account of the contents of the thought is reduced to zero. Now there are only differences on account of frequency. And when many thoughts of the same frequency, when many thoughts of the same kind are chanted again and again, it is equivalent to one thought. Like when there are many people and all of them are belonging to the same country, they are together called as Indian. In the same manner, this mantra sadhana, when we do japa, this is what happens. Therefore, vidya utpatyartha avagamyate. When we just go on chanting these mantra, slowly and steadily, the vritti or the thought will be dropped and the meaning is revealed. Rutancha ityadi karmo upasanat karmo पन्यासाद अनंतरम च वेद अनुवचन पाठाद एतद एव अवगम्यते एवं श्रौत स्मार्तेषु नित्येषु कर्मसु युक्तस्य निष्कामस्य परम ब्रह्म विविदिशा आर्षाणि दर्शनानि प्रादुर्भवन्ति आत्मविषयाणि इति. Now what is said? That after having completed rutam cha iti, so rutancha swadhyaya pravachane satyancha swadhyaya pravachane, he who has lived a perfect life and also lived and studied the scriptures and practiced them in life, he alone is able to come to this point, and therefore Veda anuvachana pathat etad eva avagamyate. So when it is said iti Vedanuvachanam, so Vedanuvachanam is after having recognized, he exclaimed. Therefore, unless we also live our life according to the Shrauta Smarteshu Nityasu Karmasu Yuktasya Nishkamasya, unless we also lead our life, whatever we are supposed to do, we do that sincerely, and yet there is no compromise as regards our individual scriptural study and sadhana is concerned. See, after a few years, when you give few yajnas here and there, thereafter it is nothing great to talk to any crowd. Any fool can talk, nothing great. But the impact of our words in changing the lives of the people is possible when our individual sadhana is uncompromisingly perfect. Then only it makes a change. Otherwise, our words will not carry meaning, it will carry noise. So as regards entertainment is concerned, we will be most sought after. Like in our Vivek Chudamani, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Veena Vadana Saundarya Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. When we go and attend various cultural programs, when we go and attend various performance of music, it is bhukta, it is only for entertainment, natu muktaye. In the same manner, the study of the scriptures, whether we are practicing this in our life or not, will decide whether we are doing this as a profession for bhukte, for enjoyment of the glory, name, fame and comforts, or to discover the truth and liberate while living like this Trishanku Rishi. That is why एवं श्रौत स्मार्तेषु नित्येषु कर्मसु युक्तस्य निष्कामस्य परम ब्रह्म विविदिशोः आर्षाणि दर्शनानि. So the one who is wanting to discover the truth according to this method, he alone will know the truth, not otherwise. That is why there is no point in thinking that by changing the place, by changing the karma, by changing our engagement in this world, any benefit is brought. No. What is required is we have to change our vision. We have to change our vision towards the people. We have to change our vision towards the Lord. We have to change our vision towards everything that is known. And with that change vision, when we re-look at the world, and if there is still the same old perception, Shatrau, Mitre, Putre, Bandhau, Ma Kuru Yatnam, Vigraha Sandhau, again the same thing continues, then we have not progressed at all. Therefore, if we are husbands and wives, are we growing spiritually? How do we know? Suppose only the husband or only the wife, they are spiritually oriented, then it is whose responsibility to be more understanding? The one who is not going to satsang or the one who is going to satsang? Think. When we go for various yajnas, many houses, these elderly people, they come and tell, Swamiji, why don't you tell my daughter-in-law, she is like that, she is like that. So I ask them very clearly, you tell Amma, you come and listen to me without my calling you, and yet you don't want to change. And your daughter-in-law, who never comes, never listens, and never want to listen, she should change because of my words. Is it ever possible? So, it is we who are studying and practicing this knowledge should register change in our vision first, not others. It is something like when we get the driving license, people need not walk properly on the road. They have got a driving license, but people in Bombay can't walk properly. Now, how ridiculous this is. In the same manner, here the teacher very clearly tells that all these things, this Vedanuvachanam, is a clear indication. Etad avagamyate evam shrauta smarteshu nityeshu karmaso yuktasya nishkamasya param brahma vividishoho arshani darshanani pradurbhavanti na anyata. So the knowledge of the self is revealed only when we practice this in our life. And hereafter, then the convocation address and the conclusion of this Pratham Valli will take place. We will see it in our tomorrow's class. Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.